Guys, so welcome to another conference realignment video. So this video is a throwback of old conferences blended in together. So from like the late 90s, like 2000s, like how conferences are. So the American Conference is the former Big East Conference blended in with like the old Conference USA. So like the North Division is basically the old Big East. Temple was in the Big East a lot of years. Same with Boston College. They were in there a year longer than Miami. And then like the South Division is basically the old Conference USA, pretty much for the most part. And the conference championship game here in the American Conference is in Nashville, Tennessee, where the Titans play. I feel like that's the most central location for this conference. And then the ACC just have 10 teams, the traditional 9 or 8 teams with Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, NC State, Maryland, and Virginia, Wake Forest. I could have had Miami in the American Conference because they were in the Big East for like the first 13 years of its existence. They joined the ACC in 04, but I felt like it was appropriate to have Miami in the ACC along with Florida State. So ACC has 10 teams, and every conference is playing 9 conference games except for the Big Ten with 11 teams. They play 8. But ACC title games in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then here's the Big Ten with 11 teams. It was Big Ten had 11 teams for the longest time. And I can only do 8 conference games with 11 teams. And then, of course, the conference championship game is in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then the Big 12, I tried the best I could with like the Big 8, blended in with the Southwest Conference and 2 divisions. And of course, the championship game is in Arlington, Texas, where the Cowboys play. It's kind of hard to do the smaller conferences because I know UAB, Rice, Southern Miss, and Tulsa, all 4 of those teams at one point at the same time, I believe, were in Conference USA. And then I just threw in UTSA in there because they were in Conference USA for like over a decade. And didn't really know what to do with the rest of the teams. I just left them in the current Conference USA. And then independents, of course, Notre Dame's an independent. They always have been. But Navy and Army have been independents for a long time in their history. So I thought, all right, I'll just put them in as an independent as well. And then the MAC is basically the same, but Marshall is in there and also UMass. Marshall was in the MAC like in the late 90s to like early 2000s for like a good, I don't know, 7-8 years. They were probably in the MAC, Marshall. And then UMass has been in and out of the MAC like a couple times in the 90s, early 2000s. They were in there for a short time and now they're in there again. So I just thought it would be nice to leave UMass in there, and it helps Buffalo with travel. And of course, the MAC title game is in Detroit, Michigan. And then this is a fun one. I blended in the old Mountain West with the old WAC combined into one conference. So like the traditional Mountain West, the founders of the Mountain West with Air Force, BYU, New Mexico, Colorado State, San Diego State, UNLV, Wyoming, and Utah. And then the old WAC that got left over with like Boise State, Fresno State, Louisiana Tech, Hawaii, Nevada, San Jose State, Utah State, UTEP. A lot of old rivalries in here too that go a long way. Yeah. And the Pac-12 is the old Pac-10. Oh, and the Mountain West Championship game is in Vegas. I had it in Vegas. And then the Pac-12 Championship game is where the Chargers play in Southern California. But yeah, the old Pac-10, 9 conference games, everyone plays everyone. And then the SEC, back when it was 12 teams with an East and West division. I mean, this makes sense, I feel like. And then, of course, the championship game is in Atlanta, Georgia. And then the Sun Belt, this one was kind of hard too, but I know FIU and Florida Atlantic were in the Sun Belt for a few years. In the mid to late, early 2010s, they were in the Sun Belt, I believe. But then also you have Middle Tennessee State, and you also have North Texas was also in the Sun Belt for a good little bit before Texas State joined. Right when Texas State joined, North Texas left the conference, but I decided to keep them in there because they were in there for a hot minute. And also Western Kentucky is in there as well. New Mexico State used to be in the Sun Belt as well. I don't know if they really fit geographically, but like I think they do. I mean, they were in the Sun Belt for a few years. They've bounced around, New Mexico State, but yeah, that is throwback old conference realignment, kind of blended in with new a little bit. So, hope you guys enjoyed it.